All right, guys, and we are back. This is Wagers on Campus, your favorite college football podcast. And thank you so much for checking us out. Today, we're going to be talking the MAC football conference, as well as the PAC2. That's right. One more year, I believe, of the PAC2. Correct me if I'm wrong, Burns, as Xander is right here alongside with me.
Sure am, Alex.
What was that?
It's a nice crack of an Oberon beer from Bell's Brewery in Michigan. Perfect summer drink.
Okay. Have you had it before, or is this a brand new beer?
No. This is a staple in the summer. This makes Blue Moon look like a natty light. I mean, the Oberon is king when it comes to a patio beer. I'm gonna lay that down.
Wow. And you can buy it in Tennessee, or did you get it in Michigan?
Yeah, no. You can buy it in Tennessee. Bell's is at least a east of the Mississippi brand. Not sure about nationwide, but been able to get Oberon the last couple summers. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out in Florida. Add it to the list.
Please do.
Burns, we are this upcoming Saturday will mark 3 weeks from college football kicking off. It's crazy that every single week that we do this podcast, we're just inching closer to the start of the season. I feel like people are really starting to feel the energy now. They're really starting to look at the schedule for week 0 and week 1. It's ramping up, man. As we do this podcast, it's July 30th, and it's gonna be August any second. So it's just fun that we're getting closer and closer.
Yep, can't wait. Really looking forward to the big conferences, but more importantly, our final future show where we really corral all our bets in to really prep us for the season. I know week 0 is just, I mean, this isn't a PG podcast, but if we're talking fellatio, it's not even close to that. I mean, it would be like making out in the backseat of the car type of foreplay. It's not even enough to get you going.
Yeah, maybe making out in the backseat of a car, but you're 17 and you've only kissed 2 girls. Because we do have Kansas State, Iowa State in Dublin. And I know Burns, Florida State, Georgia Tech last season in Dublin didn't tickle your fancy, but hey, I'm excited for Farmageddon. Let's go.
Yeah. Yep. Can't wait. If you remember last year, we had a hilarious loss of a first bet of the season. We had first half under, and I'm pretty sure the Georgia Tech kicker made like a 57-yard field goal at the buzzer at halftime.
Yeah, pretty sure that is spot on.
And one of the friends of our other program that covers the NFL, Nicholas, was ready to mail it in on college football in one half. This always happens to me. This kid's going to make it. It always does. And he did.
Yeah, you're not built for it, man, if that's your mentality. Literally the first game of the season.
First half,
right. Yeah, man, I can't wait. As you mentioned in our outline today, it seems like a lot of teams are reporting to camp today. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
I know. I mean, listen, we got a few months to ramp up. You got to get these boys stretching and in shape.
Yeah, you sure do. I guess I'm just a little surprised to hear that they're just reporting to camp today. In my mind, for whatever reason, I just kind of thought that they were all already in camp for several weeks now.
Well, I know they get paid like it's a full-time job, but these are still student athletes. You know, they get, they're not in class or have to report to any class. Yeah. So, I mean, still have to give them, a little bit of a summer break, let the boys heal. And, as Alex just loses his attention to the 29-56 White Sox over his shoulder.
Yeah, they're playing better ball, and they're up 6-2 now. But Burns, college football, tell me, what's in the news this week before we dive into these conferences?
Let's see. Speaking of camp, looks like a guy that we've been very high on, especially me, is starting to let me down here a little bit. It was seen in a walking boot. He's dealing with a calf strain. DJ Lagway will not be at camp. He will be sidelined for an undisclosed amount of time. Didn't read anything that would allude to him missing the season opener, but missed spring game with a shoulder strain. All of a sudden, this guy's just a walking straw man, and I'm not very pleased with what this offseason has done for the Florida Gators.
I can't say I disagree. I mean, if your quarterback misses the spring game and now he's missing the start of camp and he's in a boot and he's out for an undisclosed period of time and he's supposed to be a possible Heisman quarterback for your football team, yeah, I'd have concerns too, especially if I was a Gators fan.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that and update. I was reading that Michigan and Western Michigan finalizing a deal to open up the 2026 season in Germany for college football. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting for sure. Is Western Michigan expecting to compete next year? I mean, I know it's all about the money. I understand it's all about the money, but like Burns, come on. Like if you're telling me Michigan versus Western Michigan is going to be our week 0 ESPN game to look forward to, I'm going to be bitching about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fitting in Germany that a large blue blood force tries to lure out a small bordering team to completely annihilate and wipe off the map. It's fitting that they would try and play a game like that in Germany. This basketball team at Michigan, they seem to like a lot of the white German players the last couple of years. I mean, they've really, really warmed up to that team. So I'm just not shocked at all that program would be heading to Germany. It feels like a homeland for them.
I mean, if they're putting that game on week 0, all I say is that we better be getting Oregon versus USC at night. Like, that's crazy. What's that spread going to be? What's the early line? 31.5.
Well, Bryce Underwhelming should be battling for a gig next year, so we'll see. After a 5-7 season this year, we'll see what that program's looking like.
Wow, you're feeling spicy today. You're just taking shots at Michigan left and right. What's the deal? What's your beef against Michigan, man?
Everything. It's that simple.
What did they do to you? You a
Nothing.
fan of a particular college football team? I thought we were trying to keep things neutral.
No one ever said that. No one ever said neutral. We're trying to keep a cash flow positive on this. This isn't like some fucking ABC broadcast here. This is a explicit content checked box when I publish the podcast. And I don't stand for totalitarianism. Third time's a charm. That's a great education there, flashing, especially on the Mac podcast. And I just don't think it's a good idea to play this Germany game, but we'll see.
Yeah, me too. And I'm just fucking around. You can talk Michigan slander if you want.
Yeah, I hate that I have to quote Kendrick Lamar, but it's just I hate the way that they talk. I hate the way they dress. I hate the way they look. I hate the way they dance.
Whoa.
How about
that? Wow. Tell me about Rob Ryan.
Did you not see this?
No.
First of all, if you're unfamiliar as a listener, Rob Ryan, I mean, a GOAT press conference coach and just an all-time just specimen of a human being. By the way, Rob Ryan looks just like Sydney's dad. So, I mean, yes. She always says the dude, but she has no idea who Rob Ryan is. So I just don't even bring it up. But yeah, he had a nice little press conference where he was spouting off. Forgot to finish my point. He's at USC, folks. Defensive coordinator at USC. And a reporter asked him, "How do you feel about your recruiting this past offseason?" "I dominated." was his answer, and just completely commandeered the room and was very lively. I recommend checking it out if you have the chance. But Rob Ryan in college football is something that we all knew we needed. We just didn't know we needed it like this badly.
That's cool. That's cool that he's at USC. When did they make that hire? Was that just like that? Was that over the off season?
Yeah, yeah. It's not like it just happened.
Yeah,
It's because he dominated recruiting, Alex.
facts. Yeah. Now that you say that, that makes sense.
I think we'd be remiss not to talk about either the Barstool deal with Fox Sports starting week 0 or week 1. Big noon kickoff is going to have Dave Portnoy, and Big Cat will be filling in periodically at 3 to 4 weeks is confirmed already. Dave's schedule's conflicting. How many weeks do we think this actually lasts?
Oh boy. I'm gonna say it lasts throughout the season. You?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the morning show and everything will last, but I think they'll muzzle Dave to the way he talks on the Barstool pregame show that they tried to run. I never watched it live. I just caught clips on Twitter because real adults watch College Game Day, and he's just he's a very opinionated guy, and I think they're even McAfee, he's tunes it down a little bit on game day versus his normal everyday show. I don't know if Portnoy can tune it down, especially around Urban. And I just I think he might say the wrong thing, not realizing what he's on.
Burns, here's the thing. Is he going to be like at the desk with the guys?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Urban, Reggie, Leinert, like those guys?
That's what they're advertising it as.
So here's my take on that. I obviously acknowledge Portnoy and can give him his flowers for everything he's done with Barstool. But first of all, I don't think the guy knows college football.
He does not.
And secondly, I don't even think Portnoy is someone extremely entertaining to listen to if he's talking about sports, unlike a McAfee, who is extremely entertaining to listen to when he's talking sports. And McAfee actually knows ball. Portnoy doesn't. And I just don't see it being I see him lacking two things: the knowledge and honestly, even like the interest level. Unless he's talking like Michigan, Ohio State or something, I really don't give a shit what he has to say about college football.
Yeah. I'd say the only thing that also sticks out is, I mean, I'm tuning into Big Noon Kickoff one time a year, and that's Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, it's College Game Day every single week.
Me too.
Until it's not, which is going to be a while.
As long as Herb Street, Saban, and McAfee are there, I will be watching.
Well, especially week 1 is going to be that partnership unveiling, and it's Lee Corso's final game day in Columbus where it all started. Mm-hmm. So, there's going to be a huge tribute and all that, a send-off for Lee. And, yeah, I mean, game day is going to trounce Fox in the opening week.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are some good notes. Did you see DJU is on the Chargers and he'll be playing in the Hall of Fame game tomorrow?
I thought Trey Lance was starting.
Well, he might be starting, but DJU is going to make a Hall of Fame game appearance. I didn't realize that he was still hanging on and still in an NFL camp, which is really crazy to think about considering just what we've seen. But yeah.
Is it like when Billy Crystal played in spring training for the Yankees and just like paid them some money? Is now that college players are playing, does like DJU pay the Chargers some money to get out there in the what would be their 4th out of 3 preseason games? Right? These are the only 2 teams that play 4 preseason games.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Who is that quarterback at Penn State who got Hackenberg? Oh my God. That guy just, oh my God. So bad. Second round pick too.
Yeah. Was that Raiders?
Jets.
Oh my God. Yeah. The last thing before we dive into the Pac-2, I mean, that Michigan, Western Michigan game, doesn't that feel like if you flew over like the Chiefs to play like, no offense, like the Jags, and just like the NFL is trying to get teams over there, but like when they put the lopsided matchups, it's like who's going to put that on
for college?
Yeah.
Well, in the NFL, anyone can win on any given week because they're all pros. In college, that ain't gonna happen.
We'll see.
Burns, you're Mr. Sharp. You should understand where I'm coming from, brother. Or if you turn to the dark side, are you gonna be Chalky McChalk this year in the NFL?
I just staying away. I'll tell my guy. Not a big NFL guy anymore. I'm fully enthralled in college. It takes up 98% of my time.
Okay. All right.
You know, as soon as we get to week 5, we already got college football on Wednesdays. So it's like there's really no point in me in diving into the NFL.
I mean, besides that, it's fucking awesome, but fair.
Not until they change the 3:00 slate. I need 6 and 6 at all times.
And now that I can get behind.
None of this 3 games crap after 8 games played in the 1:00 slot.
It's terrible. Agreed.
It just doesn't make sense.
Right. All right. Pac-2. Oregon State and Washington State. The Pac-2. This conference, I guess, has been the Pac-2 for, this is going to be the second year of its existence.
Correct.
And then next year the year that we're jumping up to 8?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So one more year of this weird structure. To recap both squads last year, starting with Washington State. I mean, obviously, they were led by superstar quarterback John Mateer, who is no longer at the program. He transferred to Oklahoma. And Washington State as a whole had a respectable year last season, but I don't know exactly what they finished at. If I had to guess, I'd say somewhere around 500, maybe 7 wins, something like that.
8 and 5.
Okay, so pretty solid year for Washington State. Anything else to add just on kind of the quick recap?
For recap wise, yeah. I mean, they lose their coach, lose their quarterback, lose their offensive coordinator. Yeah, so it's a new slate. And dude, when I look at Washington State, can you tell me who has their most passing yards in their school's history?
Ryan Leaf.
No, recent.
Cam Ward.
Luke Falk.
Oh, yeah.
And it's by like 4,000 yards. He has like 14,000 yards passing, which is pretty close to Keenum. Like, that's up there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fun fact, just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Oregon State was the 5 and 7, a little bit down. Shockingly, 100% attendance as a fun fact for this team last year. 100.7 actually, a little oversold.
Standing room.
Yeah, fans show out.
Cool.
Once again, third new quarterback in 3 years. Malik Murphy's giving it one more shot. This guy's another rotating player. Man.
Duke, right?
Yeah, Duke. And before that, Tulane.
Okay.
And yeah, so let's see. I mean, he was underwhelming at Duke last year. A lot of high expectations. Oh, no, he was Texas, not Tulane. Dumbass. Yeah, he was part of that group that, just kind of odd man out. Didn't want to stick around. Obviously, Arch was going to get the green light. And he's highly sought after, landed at Texas, and just said, I'm going to take the high road and I'm going to go to Duke. We're not going to make a big thing out of it. It's very amicable. And so we'll see. ACC to Oregon State did not work out very well for DJU outside of that one San Jose State game that we were on San Jose State plus 14.5. I think they lost 35-0. And DJU had like 5 touchdowns. Anyway, besides that, this team is listen, the Pac-2 is gonna stink, Alex. The only thing that's not gonna stink is a very unique thing happening this year. Do you know what's happening this year in the Pac-2?
No.
On November 1st, Oregon State hosts Washington State, a Pac-2 showdown.
Wow.
On November 29th, Oregon State travels to Washington State.
Oh, wow.
They play twice in the same season.
Oh, wow.
Twice in the same month.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. For Pac-2, either a draw or supremacy. But, yeah, these two teams are playing. They have pretty loaded schedules up front. And then they both play some weird schedules in between. Like starting in October, Oregon State is Lafayette, Sam Houston, and then Washington State has Toledo week 8, Louisiana Tech, James Madison. When both of them have teams like Washington, Texas Tech, Cal, Oregon, obviously holding those rivalries that they had in the Pac-12, still on the schedule up front. Listen, when it comes to Washington State, extremely poor recruiting this year, but that's because they brought in a shitload of transfers from the Jackrabbits in South Dakota State, the reigning FCS national champions. The only thing they didn't bring was the quarterback, Gronkowski, who went to Iowa. So they're working with a bare bones quarterback group because they got Rutgers backup quarterback, and then they got Pitt's backup quarterback transferring in. Listen, we're going to really see how talented the FCS is comparatively. This is as close as we're going to get without an FCS team playing, just with their recruits in a full FBS season without moving up. I think it's going to be, a quick. They're going to play Idaho opening. It's going to be a nice, obviously that's a familiar foe for a lot of these guys, but it's going to be a quick talent boost. But these guys have competed before in the past. They're not going to be like fearful. I'm not saying that at all. It's just when I'm talking about speed on a week in, week out should be somewhat of an adjustment, in my opinion. I think Washington State is going to struggle. I think they struggled last year without Mateer, like literally putting the team on his back. The defense will need a facelift, and maybe bringing in a whole new team from a winning pedigree will help that. And then Oregon State, on the other hand, listen, they've got a tough schedule up front, but they've got a pretty fluffy schedule on the back end. And, I think this could be a bowl team, an improvement from last year. But I think it's still going to be a middling team unless Malik Murphy, plays to his 5-star, top of the quarterback class that he was recruited as. That's pretty much what we're looking at when we come to breaking down the Pac-2.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. I'm reading that Washington State had over 40 players transfer out of their program. It's quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Some followed your head coach. Others seems like a situation now where the transfer portal is so robust. When a new coach comes in, it's like, hey, I got guys. I got my guys. Signetti did it. It's just I think when you bring in a new coach that was coaching at another school, it's not just like a promotion. I think you're going to have like the head coach to head coach move. You're going to see that more often.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to cover with the PAC2, or does that suffice?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll talk. We're not going to break down their schedules. I mean, I see Washington State taking a bit of a step back, just because of the lack of production they're returning. Losing Mateer is so huge. So when I look at, sorry, let me pull it up. Their over unders 5.5. I look at that schedule and I lean towards under when I'm looking at bets in these two. Oregon State 6.5. I'd probably stay away. That seems like a fair number. Could get to 7. Totally see him at 5 or 6.
Right. I agree. We'll see how the start of the season shakes out for both squads and lay some eyes on the actual on-field product and maybe make some pivots from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the MAC, what our listeners tuned into, we are breaking down the MAC football conference. You have Burns's favorite school, Toledo, in that conference. You have one of our great friends of this podcast, Kurt. He is an Ohio University man. We are a MAC podcast. You've heard it a million times. Burns over 60%. He'll correct me. He'll tell me the exact number over the last 2 seasons betting specifically for the MAC. So we know our MAC football. And today we are going to be talking about the MAC conference in 2025. So, Xander, where do you want to start?
Man, this is this is the day I look forward to every year because we are a MAC conference, or a MAC podcast, but as you know, the gaudy numbers that I put up are MAC versus MAC. I'm not betting every single MAC game every year. We take a little breather to start, calm before the storm. So conference play is where we really cook. But as a Toledo graduate myself, I know what's in the stew. I know how the soup is made, and nothing gets me more juiced up than a Toledo preseason where all the odds are in their favor because they've never let me down before.
No, especially with that coach that they got over there.
Yeah, Jason Candle, this is his 10th year, and with 1 win this season, he will become Toledo's all-time winningest coach. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is what it is. Records are made to be broken, right? When it comes to MAC, we've talked about these stats all year in other conferences. Close losses from previous seasons. Bowling Green falls under that category. Last year, they had 3 close losses, 1 possession or less than 1 possession. 76% chance when a team finishes with 3 close losses net to have a same or better record the following year. So when we look at Bowling Green, last year they were what were they? They were 7-6 last year, and their win total on 6.5. So if they're same or better, that's over right there. That's all you need. There's your first bet of the MAC. Second one is the opposite. 3 or more close wins. And the Bobcats, the Kitties, Ohio U, falls under that category. And when a team is net 3 close losses or wins, 77% chance of same or worse record, Alex. And for the first time in 50-plus years, the Bobcats won a MAC championship last year against their rival, Miami Redhawks, Battle of the Bricks 2.0, in a pretty sound beatdown that myself and Chalamet, Chalamet got a lot of credit, but, there was someone else that was calling that out. I think he may have picked up over the Twitter sphere. He said, I saw this Mac Sharp, and I'm going to take it with me to the game day desk, and everyone's going to love me when I'm the only one picking the Bobcats on money line. You're welcome, Timothy.
That might be your best one yet. So Ohio's coach, after winning the MAC conference, he bolts off to Charlotte. Is that correct?
Yep. So the Kitties lost a good amount of players as well. I mean, this is what happens. Coach leaves. Some reason. I mean, kind of. Why do you guys love an old man so much? Just like, what's going on? Why do all these guys can't just stay where they committed? Because Ohio U, I mean, you were there. You were there off season. I mean, it's got the gusto to recruit.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
No, I meant the campus, like the campus in the. Okay, dumbass.
Yeah, that's interesting. How long was he there? The coach who went to Charlotte.
Albin was there for 20 plus years. No, 15 plus years.
Oh wow,
as a coordinator role to Solich. And recently took over once he retired. And yeah, I mean, like we said though, Athens, Ohio, living there versus Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like close to 60. It's just like, oh man, living in Athens, and they're getting paid like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can't even spend it all. Like, that's how crazy living in Athens, Ohio is.
Sure.
You could probably build a $250,000 house, like build it, and it would be the size of like a $2 million house somewhere else in the country.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting in terms of the coach, but we'll flip the page and we'll talk 2025 MAC, and we're going to talk the players to look out for in this conference as we look forward to the new year. So Burns, you got your MVP, you got your newcomer of the year, your offensive and defensive player of the years in this conference.
Yeah, I mean, the MVP was tough. I mean, it's preseason MVP. We're looking at what the player has done and leading up to what they might do. And Navarro's going to have to shoulder a lot of the load for a Ohio offense that, got to be honest, doesn't have many household names. But this kid had 18 rushing touchdowns last year, over 1,000 yards rushing, 13 passing, but 31 total touchdowns is, impressive no matter what you're talking about. So Navarro, I mean, he's a good talent. I mean, they've been flush with talent at quarterback for the last decade with the Rourke bros there. Man, how did that family could have turned into the who's the Plumleys and the Watts? They were like the Mac Plumleys was the Rourke family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's my MVP preseason. Just got to tip your cap. Chip Trainum coming in. Rockets in the 8 years previously under Candle have always been a top 3 rushing program in the MAC. Listen, they've had some absolute stud talents come through, like NFL names like David Fluellen, and of course NFL Rookie of the Year Kareem Hunt has come through there, and same with throw it way back Chester Taylor, OG Toledo running back, Vikings legend there. But Chip Trainum is going to be a stud back there. Ohio State was never going to progress up that depth chart, and former recruit to Kentucky. He's a converted linebacker to running back. I mean, this dude is a hoss, and Toledo has a much more seasoned offensive line, so I think he'll turn that bottom rushing attack to a top one this upcoming year.
That's interesting. Yeah, I saw he spent some time at some different D1 schools, like you mentioned, Ohio State being one of them.
Yep. And obviously, most famously punched it in for against Notre Dame 2 years ago on the goal line as time expired.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Didn't
Yeah.
realize that was Chip.
Yep. And Junior Vandeross. Listen, he was 40 yards away from Toledo having two 1,000-yard receivers last year. I mean, just another plug and play. Toledo, just speed freak, and uber talented player. I'd say most talented wideout we've had since Deontay Johnson, or Toledo has had. I will not say we, even though I graduated. Unbiased. Yeah, and then so he's my offensive player of the year. I think he's just going to eat all day, all night. I think this will be a breakout season for him to really steal some national spotlight. He's my number 10 receiver nationally. I think this is a big time coming out party on the national spotlight for him. And then, of course, Khalil Red Murdoch as a defensive player of the year preseason. This kid is a freak. 156 tackles last year in a single season. 17 tackles for a loss. I mean, geez Louise. This guy is just a dude at linebacker, part of a stout. We're going to call it the Niagara Wall they got up there.
Love that.
How about that?
Nice.
Print the T-shirts, the Niagara Wall up there.
That's great.
Yeah, Red Murdoch's just a great talent returning, and he's going to cause some problems there week in and week out.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to get into these conference all teams here, but you'll notice that Buffalo has quite a few guys on some of these teams, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but also the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, we'll dive into that as we pull up our first team all MAC conference in on offense. That's where we'll start. And
Mr. Buffalo Bull Alex Mayer himself.
Yeah, why do you say that? You know, they're just a good team.
Listen, they're a fine team. I mean, you're acting like they were even contending last year for like a national championship. I mean, they were a 9-4 team. And listen, they surprised a lot of people. Buffalo was picked towards the bottom last year. Pete Lembo did an incredible job. But when we break down the total all conference nods for the team, Buffalo second. Toledo with 13 leads the way, combined from first, second, and third team. And then Buffalo second with 11. So why don't you tell some of the listeners, some of your guys on defense that you felt deserved a nod on the first team?
Well, we can start with Kobe Stewart, who made
Kobe.
Is it Phil Steele? Is that his name? Who does the conference breakdowns? Yeah. So Phil Steele, he does conference breakdowns with all the conferences. And Kobe Stewart, defensive end, Buffalo, was on his first team. And then in addition to that, there was just an article released. I want to say like an official MAC article. And Kobe Stewart was also on that first team as well. So you got Kobe Stewart among the defensive line, unanimous preseason first team all MAC player. And then at linebacker for Buffalo, we already talked about Red Murdoch. Burns called him out as potential defensive player of the year for the MAC. And another linebacker that made first team preseason is Deion Crawford. So we're looking at one defensive lineman and two linebackers on basically our first team MAC squad. And, some of the experts agreed with that as well.
Yeah, Stewart and Crawford 1-2 in sacks last year in the MAC. So they were havoc creators. And when we like we did last episode, why don't we start with Buffalo? How does that sound? When we look at their schedule, they start. This is a pesky game for Minnesota, I think. They start at Minnesota, but I mean it's not like this is any sort of crazy weather. It's summer weather. PJ Fleck Last year, I called him the new Kirk Ferentz. As long as he wins more than 7 games, I think he will be at Minnesota for 30 years. Like, I think his job he's on one of the coldest seats in the nation. But you can't be losing games like this. As a former MAC guy, you can expect him to always respect the MAC. So we're not going to go this in depth on every single game. What I'm saying is that I think Minnesota doesn't have to sweat an upset here.
I mean, they might get upset, but I think we have to go with Minnesota. We got to put some respect on their name.
Agreed. And they're going to beat St. Francis. Kent State might be better, but they're not going to lose to Kent State. Troy is a team we broke down earlier this year. I believe we had Buffalo winning. And UConn. This is a frisky independent team. I like Jim Mora. We've talked about him a lot. I think UConn beats Buffalo on the road. It's a frisky game. Frisky game, Alex. What are your thoughts?
No huge thoughts. I know you're high on UConn, so yeah,
should be not really high. Not really high. Just don't think they get enough. They're perceived as like a 3-win team, and I think they're a bowl team. But Buffalo should take care of Eastern Michigan when Buffalo's at home. UMass has never made a bowl. Talk about them in a little bit. They're not going to make one this year. Buffalo should beat them. Akron will be better. Do we think any sort of magic from Akron?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Bowling Green will break down a little bit, but I don't think they're ready there for the amount of talent Buffalo returns. I think Buffalo can win on the road, but that's going to be a frisky game there late in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo at Central during Maction, Tuesday night, November. Could be snow in Mount Pleasant.
I mean, if Buffalo's defense is good and we expect them to be good, I think that travels well. So I'd go Buffalo.
Okay. Miami of Ohio at Buffalo. I mean, it's a brutal way to end the schedule. I like Miami as a better team than Buffalo. I just don't see Buffalo's offense, even though they have, Victor Snow, another undersized guy. It's funny not to go off too much on a tangent, just a quick note. A lot of guys that we've highlighted, you'll see this upcoming year. Victor Snow is also another 5'8" guy, like a smaller, just speed demon guy. We've talked about like Kenny Odom, Junior Vander Ross. Not as many towering like Keyshawn Johnson, Randy Moss type guys that we've highlighted so far this year. But granted, we've only been talking about Group of 5.
Sure. Okay. Well, Miami of Ohio, we'll give them that win, and then we'll say that they beat Ohio. Split that.
Okay. So that puts them at 9-3, 7-1. That's almost shoo-in for the MAC championship. You think this is a MAC championship contender?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So going back to who should we talk next? Should we talk about the boys in Midnight Blue?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, Toledo.
I
returning.
didn't realize they went by Midnight Blue, so that's a new term to me. I wasn't sure who you were referring to.
Oh yeah, Midnight Blue and Gold is the official Pantone of the blue that they represent. Look, when we talk about Toledo in the conference, they're number 1 returning production, number 1 recruiting class, which they're usually number 1, 2, or 3 recruiting. For the last, it's got to be 20 years now. And transfer rank, they're 4th in the transfer portal. All of that combined, to me, is going to highlight where the coaching comes into play. They've got the most players in an all-conference team that we've highlighted. They're going to have the best secondary by far in the MAC, and they've produced 2 NFL talents in the last 2 years with Max Hook and obviously Quinyon Mitchell, Super Bowl champion. So when I look at this team, it's the MAC of old, the MAC that everyone fell in love with we talk about Buffalo, we talk about Toledo. I'm not saying it's dead, but you got to put some respect on the defenses in the MAC because they're producing consistent NFL talent and they are bringing actual defensive football to these type of games. And you're not going to see your 56, 55 games anymore on Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, for sure. And on our preseason teams, we have Avery Smith, a corner for Toledo on our first team. We also have Emmanuel McNeil Warren, a safety, who also made our first team for Toledo. And then we had another corner, Braden Alls, make our second team. So to Burns' point about Toledo secondary, we have 2 corners and a safety combined between the first team and the second team. And then if we go down to the third team, we have another corner from Toledo, Nasir Bowers, making that squad. So yeah, the secondary should be pretty locked down. Probably will be the best in this conference. Toledo's always good. So I expect another good year.
Yeah, and they get the rare. You brought him up last week. Talk about him now. The rare interconference transfer, Trayvon Rudolph from NIU. Talk about a big body. That's where you're going to find big body, opposite of Junior Vandeross. So yeah, that's another. I think they'll have 2 all-conference wideouts this year. So there's really no reason. This really goes for any team, barring injury, that this team's ceiling, let's be honest, this sounds crazy to say, but with how low the group of 5 is looked at and getting an automatic bid, this team's ceiling, as we pull up their schedule, is the college football playoff.
It is the ceiling. I don't disagree. I don't think their quarterback, Gleason, is going to be asked to do too much this season. It's just a couple key games that he's going to have to really show up.
Yeah, and that's been his biggest issue has been staying healthy, and that's really all you can do is focus on, really the intangibles of making sure that you are doing the right things in the offseason to stay healthy when the time is called, and that starts when they open up in Lexington, Kentucky, 3 hours north of me. Listen, they have 2 big games non-conference on the schedule. I think they win at least one. So which one do you – because I'm clicking Toledo for one of them. Which one would you be happier to click, Kentucky or Washington State?
Personally, I would say that I'd like them to beat Washington State more than I would to start the year on the road at Kentucky.
Sure. I can live with that. I think everyone will – and this is my biggest fear is it's a week 1 game. Everyone is going to immediately reference Mississippi State last year. Toledo went on the road, beat the fucking brakes off Mississippi State. And I can guarantee you there's going to be more than one college game day person with Toledo as their outright dog of the week. And I don't like that. Talked about it earlier. I don't like when everyone's on our side.
Yeah, spread's 9.5. Kentucky is favored in that game.
Yep. It was right around the same spread as it was last year for Mississippi State, maybe a little smaller just because of guarding against that. But obviously we think Kentucky's a little bit of a better program with Mark Stoops and what they have going over there. Listen, this is a winnable game, but no way Kentucky overlooks this Toledo team after what we saw last year where does Mississippi Starkville? Thank you. got there a little bit at the same time.
You got
all
that.
right. Anyway, Western Kentucky revenge game. Toledo was up 2 scores last year before a 3-hour rain delay at Western Kentucky, and Western Kentucky took the lead with 5 minutes to go. I think Toledo wins that. They'll beat Morgan State. Western Michigan to me is down from previous years. I think question mark at quarterback, but it's all going to be about Toledo's run defense. It's going to be a run-heavy Western Michigan team. I think they win their opener, and I think they beat Akron. Any push?
No, I'm fine with that.
All right. And that Akron game is homecoming, by the way. So That's a definite win. Here we go, though. This is a big stat here. They should be a favorite against Bowling Green on the road, which is their big battle of I-75. Toledo as a road favorite in their last 14, 3-11 against the spread, 0-4 last year. Room for improvement, to say the least. What do we think, Alex?
Well, I think Bowling Green had a good year last season. I'm not sure how legit they're going to be this year. I would lean Toledo in that game.
Think so. Big time payback. Toledo suffered, a brutal loss last year. 41-26. Really got red-assed at home in unbelievable fashion to your rival. We have them beating Washington State and Kent State in the following weeks. Bye week. Home to Northern to start off in action. Don't think Northern is going to have enough offense. It is a weird game, but off a bye, I think Toledo wins that game.
I agree.
And then at Miami for the next week match. And here's the thing. Toledo is 1-3 straight up in their last 4 against Miami at Miami. This game worries me.
Yeah, late in the season, Miami been good as of late. Still should have a pretty good defense.
DeQuan Finn revenge game.
Yeah, and DeQuan Finn revenge game. The quarterback for Miami used to be at Toledo. I'll let you make the call on this one.
Man, it's just going to be Toledo's going to be receiving votes, maybe 28th in the country after that Washington State win and then a convincing win over Northern. And I just know this program. I mean, they're going to lose at Miami and just kill all hopes of a playoff. They're going to beat Ball State. They're going to beat Central to close out the year. Finish 10-2, 7-1 in the MAC. Probably a MAC championship appearance, but what could have been season just needing a win at Miami late in the season.
Yeah, I mean, do you still think they're college football consideration with a loss to Kentucky to start the year? And the reason I asked the question is, before you just blurt out yes, is the schedule it's not that hard. I know it's not the easiest non-conference, but it's not the hardest either.
Oh yeah, for sure. I get it. I think a win in Pullman, it really depends, I guess, how Washington State ends up. We just talked about expecting them to be, middling.
Yeah.
Making a bowl. So, but if they plummet the other way and go like 3-9, all of a sudden that's not an impressive win. And we have the strength of record now coming out to being a qualifying factor for what the committee will be evaluating this year to teams. So I guess a close one-score game loss to Kentucky is the only loss you can take. A blowout week 1, convincingly beating every other team, especially if Western is competing for a Conference USA championship. Who knows? They'll need Boise to lose a couple. They wouldn't go head-to-head with a one-loss Boise. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, if they beat Kentucky, look out.
Yeah, hold on. Whoa, Nelly. That could, Toledo could just really open up a can of whoop ass on the state of Kentucky the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, very true.
All right. Next up, our third most recognized team in the MAC. That would be Ohio Bobcats, your reigning MAC champions. Only one first teamer.
Tank Pearson.
Yep.
Corner. We do have Parker Navarro, Burns' pick for MAC Player of the Year as the second-team quarterback. Burns, can you explain that? Why you put DeQuan Finn as the first-team quarterback and your MAC MVP as the second-team quarterback?
I think that's a accounting error, but we'll live with it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
That's preseason. DeQuan wasn't playing in the MAC last year, so I'm respecting who was playing in the MAC last year. On MVP wise.
Gotcha. Okay. Cy Bangora, running back for Ohio. He made our second team All-MAC squad. They also have a offensive lineman, Davian Weatherspoon, and a safety, DJ Walker, on our second team. And then offensively, Mason Williams at tight end. I was pretty torn to put him either second team tight end or third team tight end. So he should be a guy to watch for sure. And then they do have a wide receiver, Chase Hendricks, who hit our third team as well.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting this year for Ohio, right? And then, oh no. And then, of course, we've talked about it because I've already put Ohio as a under bet for the season at 7.5 because they start off in a brutal fashion at Rutgers. West Virginia comes to them, crosses the border there. That's a pretty cool little thing that they've been able to establish. Iowa State came there 2 years ago. So they've been pulling in some Power 4 teams. And then Ohio State. That's the first 3 games. Rutgers, it all depends on what this Ohio team – I mean, that's so tough not seeing them with so many new faces. But Rutgers hasn't been impressive in the offseason. If they're going to win one of them, you'd think it'd be that one, right?
If they're going to win one, it would either be Rutgers or West Virginia. Yeah, one of those two. I don't see a huge difference between either squad. I have respect for Schiano over at Rutgers, so I don't expect them to beat Rutgers. West Virginia, Rich Rodriguez returns. That's a weird game. Don't know what the expectations are for West Virginia as we haven't dove into them yet, but yeah.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I truly think they go 0-3. That's why I like their under for the season because then they really need to hold serve in the MAC. And I just don't think that they're going to be able to. We already have them losing to Buffalo late in the season. They're going to get their first win against Gardner-Webb at home week 4, and then they have a tough showdown with Eddie George, Bowling Green. I think they beat Bowling Green at home, and I think they beat Ball State the following week.
Mm-hmm.
To pull 3-3. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
Yep. And then Northern is still. I'm just so torn. I just don't think Northern's going to have any sort of offense. I'm still up in the air about them. I think they can beat them. And then Eastern, Noah Kim, the Green Monster himself. This is an iffy game. I truly don't know. I don't see Eastern being like this bottom dwelling team. See them being competitive in the MAC. So I'll let you take this one.
Let's go Eastern.
All right. Bye week before the Battle of the Bricks, Alex. Big rivalry here. Ohio versus Miami.
Got to go Miami.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Take it on the road. Going up to Ypsilanti, Western Michigan, hosting Ohio.
After that tough loss to their rival, I don't see them getting up, so we're going to go Western.
Yep. And then they should beat UMASS before they lose to Buffalo. And that is a 5-7 season, Alex?
Well, that's what happens when you win the conference and then your coach decides to go to a worse school. So that's not going to be that surprising when it comes to fruition.
And they promoted within, so it's not like they brought in a new coach that brought in some players, whether it be FCS or anything like that. We'll see. A lot of stress on Parker Navarro this year, but we've got the defending MAC champs missing a bowl.
Yeesh.
That is tough. Oh. Okay, let me share my screen again. Next up, Miami of Ohio. Yeah, we could kind of fly through the rest, but DeQuan Finn, he's my number one quarterback, coming back from Baylor. Obviously lost out Sawyer Robinson. I think he made the smart move, just, biting the bullet and coming back to the MAC. Interesting, didn't really have the insight if he would have even gotten the opportunity to come back to Toledo. But going to Miami of Ohio, don't like it. Don't like it at all, DeQuan. But they're more than just that. They're obviously a defensive prowess. Chuck Martin's been there for years. He's really turned the corner on this becoming a studly. I mean, this is the top 30 defense last year. in the year before that. Nasir Washington and Corbin Hundrew on our first team on the defensive side, and then Adam Trick on our second team. But when we look at Miami's schedule, last year was a little tougher. I think it's going to be a little bit more user friendly for the Red Hawks. Already have them 3-0, beating the three best teams in the MAC. But they open up on the road at Wisconsin. Wisconsin has one of the toughest schedules in the entire country. No way they overlook this team, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go Wisconsin to win that one to start the year.
And they have a procuring fixation on red teams.
Yes.
So they're playing Rutgers next. Rutgers just beats up on the MAC the first 2 weeks.
I think so.
Nice, good for them. And then another red team, UNLV. I think Dan Mullen beats Miami of Ohio, and they start 0-3 as well.
Yeah, rip it.
Should get Lindenwood, Northern at home. Funky game. Two teams that might be struggling for offense. Northern sneaks one away.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say Northern game-winning field goal off the uprights. Miami hangs on.
Okay. Miami should beat Akron, should beat Eastern, should beat Western. And then Ball State at the end of the year should beat them.
Should. At home.
Yep. So that's a perfect 8-0 record in conference.
Ooh.
With wins over Buffalo and Toledo. 9-3 record overall. Man, that is a good-looking team, Alex. Next up, we have Northern and Central, both tied for 6 players representing our preseason all-conference. Just a few names that stuck out to you.
Yeah, let me pull up the screen here.
Oh, sorry. We're back.
No worries. We're talking Northern and who did you say?
Central.
Northern and Central. So Central Michigan has a linebacker on our first team, Mac, who I not sure how to pronounce his last name. Jordan Kwiatkowski. Probably butchered that.
Northern. Maybe it's a silent K.
Northern, as you had mentioned, had a transfer to Toledo, Trayvon Rudolph, wide receiver. So he is not going to be an NIU Husky this year. NIU, one defensive back on the second team, Jacob Finley, and then they had 2 guys on the third team, all defense, and then Tully Johnson, running back, Northern Illinois. He makes our third team MAC squad. And then when we turn our attention to Central Michigan, 2 more guys on the defensive side of the ball for the second team All-MAC, Dakota Cochran and Michael Heldman. Heldman, a defensive lineman, Cochran, a linebacker. And then another defensive player, Cade Costas, on the defensive line for a third team. And Tyson Davis, wide receiver, as well as offensive lineman Brady Plaucha on our third team offense. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's weird how we got 6 for both of these squads on our all MAC teams, but overall the representation definitely doesn't feel phenomenal, I would say.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, 2 underwhelming quarterbacks, Hoist and Labas, not much to show for really anything. It's going to be, running game, controlling the clock for how these teams pick up those gritty MAC wins and not allowing points. When we look at Central, they go on the road. They're going to start 0-3. San Jose State, Pitt, and Michigan, right?
I think so.
They should beat Wagner. And then internal state, Eastern versus Central. I like Eastern. I think Central is not good this year.
Okay.
I think Akron beats them too. Don't sleep on Akron.
And they got to improve, right?
Yep. Bowling Green will beat them, and then they'll beat Central, or they'll beat UMass. And then I think Western beats them. Buffalo, we already have beaten them, and then I think they'll beat Kent State, sandwiched between Buffalo and Toledo, and they lose to Toledo. And that's our worst MAC team so far at 3-9. Any pushback there?
No, I don't have any pushback on that.
Yeah, and when we look at Northern, they're going to start out 1-0. So the MAC, we've looked at all these schedules so far for week 1. The MAC might be maybe the worst conference in the country after week 1, but we'll see. A lot of upsets last year. Go to Maryland. I got Loxley on the hot seat, but Maryland should beat them, right?
Maybe a little Notre Dame magic.
And then Mississippi State, do you think they'll overlook a MAC team again?
Mississippi State by three scores.
San Diego State, obviously their head coach came from Kent State. They should be able to handle Northern in the cradle there. Eastern versus Northern, interesting. Give me the under in this game. And who do we like going forward?
Yeah, we'll go Eastern.
Okay. And then Ball State, Northern. I think Northern can win it at home. Get into action. Northern's drop into Toledo. UMASS, no. Northern should win. And then Western and Kent State to close out the year 1-1.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's fair. So we have Northern at 4-8.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it does. Until I could see some improvement out of that offense, not sure they can recreate the magic of last year. When we get back to the bottom half of the teams, we got Western, Eastern, and Bowling Green for our preseason all-conference. Obviously, the most interesting out of those three is Bowling Green with Eddie George coming in. And, a huge transfer class, second overall in the conference when it comes to rankings. And that's really what it's going to come down to. A lot of new faces in new places, as we will get familiar with all over the country. But this Bowling Green team could shock the world, the MAC world, or it could just be, another new head coach easing his way in to a underwhelming season before it takes off with all his guys the following season.
Yeah, for sure. With Western Michigan, it's interesting. Jalen Buckley, if you watch MAC football, you know who Jalen Buckley is. He made our first team all MAC squad on offense. They also had a tight end, Blake Bosma, who made our first team as well. So interesting that they have some dynamic playmakers on the offensive side of the ball for Western this year.
Yeah, for sure. And when it comes to who's Eastern, I mean, Noah Kim has to be just his favorite color has to be green, right? Started at Michigan State, transfers to Coastal Carolina, and now he's going to end his career at Eastern Michigan. I mean, he's just has a green infatuation. But he is reuniting with his boy from Michigan State, right? At wideout, Terry Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
Former Michigan State Spartan at Eastern Michigan. For those of you who don't know geographically, Eastern is legitimately 8 minutes away from Ann Arbor. It is right there. That's Ypsilanti. I misspoke earlier about my Western Michigan folks. I'm sorry. Do not harm me. And when we look at who should we talk to first here? Bowling Green. Go to Eddie George.
Yeah.
So they'll beat Lafayette out the gate. They're 1-0 in Eddie's career in FBS. So good for him. Undefeated record.
Yeah.
But then they have an in-state matchup on the road at Cincinnati.
Think we need to go Cincy.
I agree. But an interesting game here early in the season. Liberty, odds-on favorite to win the CUSA. This podcast was meh on them. Do you remember what we had in this game?
I want to say we had Liberty.
Yes, we did. And then Louisville should take care of business. We already have Ohio beating Bowling Green and Toledo, and then Bowling Green beating Central. Bowling Green should take care of Kent State. Buffalo's going to beat Bowling Green. And then Eastern versus Bowling Green to start their action. What do we got?
We've given Eastern a lot of wins, so I think we should give Bowling Green a win here.
Oh, yeah. The do factor. That's Joe talking. That's Joe Mayer talking.
It's just odds getting to their mean. Odds getting to their mean.
That's a road game in Ypsi. I don't know. They're going to be breaking down the bricks there, cinder blocks. Bowling Green should beat Akron and UMass to close out the season. This team in Eddie George's first year will be bowling, according to Alex Mayer and Xander Burns.
6-6.
But that's under their season win total.
Okay.
All right. And speaking of Eastern, we've already got 6 games decided for them. Let's look at their others. Texas State. We had Texas State. Don't know why that's not populating, but that's going to be too much offense for Eastern to keep up with. They should bounce back against Long Island week 2, and then Eastern gets Kentucky week 3. Don't see Kentucky losing there.
Same.
Do we see the Raging Cajuns? This is the team we were high on in conference, but out of conference, I believe we had Eastern Michigan beating Louisiana.
I mean, if that's what we had, then we'll go Eastern.
And then we have Eastern beating Central, followed by losing to Buffalo, beating Northern, losing to Miami, beating Ohio at home, and then losing to Bowling Green before they play Ball State. Sitting 5-5, they need 1 win in their final 2 games to get to a bowl.
They'll get it. They'll split.
You think they'll beat Ball State?
Lost to Ball State, beat Western.
Gotcha. When it matters the most, beat an in-state rival. I like it. And then closing out for Western's here, they open up at Michigan State. Gave them a little bit of trouble first half last year. Don't see that happening this year with Sparty. Should be a win. North Texas. I think we had North Texas that didn't populate. And then obviously Illinois is going to take care of business there. We have Toledo beating them. Western should get a win at Rhode Island or home to Rhode Island. And then UMass, followed by Ball State. Who do we have here?
Let's go Western.
Yep. And then we have Miami beating Western, Western beating Central, followed by Western beating Ohio, beating Northern Illinois, and then losing to Eastern their final game for another 6-6 MAC team.
Okay.
This sounds about right.
It does.
Yep.
Feels like home.
And then the bottom of the MAC, the last 4 that we haven't talked about, each team has 3 or less players, with UMass represented with only 1 player out of the 72 preseason all-conference nods. Akron, Ball State, Kent State, UMass. Listen, Akron surprised a lot of people getting to 4 wins last year. Kent State didn't surprise much by losing every single game they played last year. Akron is ineligible for postseason preseason in a unbelievable developing story. Ineligibility academically. And but some players stayed, including their quarterback, Ben Finley, who's a legit talent at the position. Any other guys that stuck out to you from these 4 specifically?
I thought it was interesting if you go to the second team there that Akron had 2 guys make our second team All-MAC, Jake Newell at tight end and Alex Adams at wide receiver. Wasn't exactly expecting to see Akron represented with 2 guys on offense, but that was a little bit surprising. Jordan Newbin, Kent State running back, the brother of Tyler Newbin, who was a safety over at University of Minnesota, got drafted into the NFL. And Jordan Newbin was at Minnesota until transferring to Kent State. So that's someone who I'll, be interested to just see how he does.
Yeah, for sure. So when we look, let's just start with Akron then. We already have them 1-4. They play a Wyoming team we have being better. I think Wyoming should get it done, and then they'll get waxed by Nebraska. UAB is interesting. This could be where Dilfer gets let go if Akron comes in and beats UAB. What do we think?
I think we need to go Akron.
And then the Zips should beat Duquesne before losing to Toledo and then beating Central, losing to Miami. They need to win out in the games we haven't decided to be bowl eligible. They have Ball State on the road.
We'll go Akron.
Okay, lose to Buffalo, bye week, and then UMass and Kent State.
Dare I say it?
Are the Zips bowl eligible? Wow. And their win total is 4.5, Alex.
That's interesting, Burns. Yeah, I mean, I clearly we see a path if we have them at 6-6. We may be a little generous, but still very doable.
Yeah, definitely. Ball State. Listen, the last three teams already have a combined 19 losses. So rounding those out, I don't think Purdue is going to slip up here. Ball State, new coaching coming. Same with Purdue, but Barry Odom's not going to lose that. He couldn't, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Auburn, same thing. I think New Hampshire is going to give Ball State a run, to be honest. But the Cardinals should get it done. UConn will beat Ball State. I'll put my stamp on that. And then battle of the bottom. Ball State, does Kent State get a win here?
You tell me.
I think this is what kicks off action is Kent State's first win in 20 games.
Let's go. Golden flashes.
Yep. And we'll go to them because, actually, I lied. They'll beat Merrimack week 1, I think.
Yeah.
They'll get routed by Texas Tech. They lose to Buffalo week 3. That's good. I think that's my first Mac versus Mac bet. Looks like week 3 so far as the earliest action. Florida State should be back, and then Oklahoma. Wow.
Ouch.
Their AD is just punishing these guys.
Yeah.
That is a brutal non-con. They are raking in the cash. And then the battle of the sewer dwellers, UMass, Kent State, week 7. Get your popcorn ready, folks. Does UMass get a win? This will be deciding if UMass gets a win or not, Alex.
No.
UMass goes defeated. Kent State gets 3 wins.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, UMass plays Temple. They'll lose to Temple. And then they should beat Bryant. There's their win. And should beat Iowa, right? Okay, we'll go Iowa. We're kidding around. We like to kid on this pod. What, guys can't have a little fun just horsing around? They go to a bye, and then they get Missouri. Wow, UMass tipping the cap to the group chat here.
How about that?
They'll end up playing. Did they play Toledo? No, they didn't. I was going to say 3 of the 6. All right, or 4 of the 6. Missouri should win. UMass finishes 1-11, and Kent State's win total, by the way, Alex, is 1.5.
Okay, well,
you have them 3-9.
It's not totally out unreasonable.
UMass win total is 4.5.
Oof.
So we feel like we're entering like lock of the century with 3 games buffer there.
That's what it looks like. We've never been wrong before on this pod.
No, we have not. So it looks like the tiebreaker would go to Toledo. I believe they beat Buffalo head-to-head in our. No, they don't play Buffalo. Some sort of tiebreaker. So Toledo versus Miami. Daquan Finn versus Toledo. And these odds are Toledo is 3-1 to win the conference. Miami of Ohio is 7-1 to win the conference.
Okay. Nice.
Who's your MAC champion, Alex?
Right now, I'd say Toledo.
So they get payback from their only loss in the MAC to Miami.
Yep, they get their payback.
Tough to beat a team twice, especially in a dome. I agree. I actually don't think Toledo loses Miami, but I'll tip my cap to trying to do a reverse jinx there. Their overs 8.5. We look at just a refresher on the bets to close out this episode. Anything that sticks out to you that you will like preseason? Because right now, a few of what we believe in our predictions for the win-loss, Toledo over has a few games to spare. UMass under, as well as Central Michigan under 4.5 has a couple games. Same with Northern Illinois at 6.5. we have Northern Illinois winning 4 games.
Yeah, for sure. I like Toledo and Buffalo to make their mark, make their presence felt in the conference this year. I like both of them to go over their win total. Toledo at 8.5, Buffalo at 7.5. Just taking a quick look. Western Michigan has a lot of talent on offense. 4.5 wins. That seems doable for them.
But we have them bowling at 6-6, so that's a game and a half over. We had a game to give away there. The other thing, though, is that I'll say is for 2 of the teams that you mentioned, Buffalo and Miami. Same with Ohio too. It's just they give away so much in the non-conference. It's like Toledo at least, is playing manageable Power 4 teams. These other teams are just, it's 0-3. It's just like, sure, there's been upsets before in the past, but not likely.
I 100% agree. I see where you're coming from.
Just behind the 8 ball. AMI, talk me off of Toledo, make the playoff 18-1.
Definitely could happen. If they beat Kentucky in that first game of the year, things are setting up in their favor. That's for sure.
Can Toledo beat Kentucky and Washington State and drop a weird MAC game by 1 point and still make the playoff?
Yeah, they could, based on the new rules. They could.
Okay.
I'm going to say unlikely, but possible.
Okay. It's more of I know they literally could, but from a rating perspective, would you put them in over like a 2-loss Boise?
My dog was barking, so I had myself on mute. I would say depending on how good Toledo looks in their wins, that they could make the playoff. But if they're squeaking by with their dubs in the MAC, they're winning by 4, winning by 6, just kind of picking up wins but not dominating, then no, then they wouldn't make it.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I think it's we saw like a little bit of a this is a tougher non-conference schedule than Liberty's 2 years ago when Liberty went undefeated, ended up playing USC in the January 1st bowl, but Liberty just didn't play anyone to get that undefeated record in an already weak conference. So you're spot on. Toledo needs to win at least one of those, and then they have to look good in the conference.
Yep,
to hit that 18-1. All right. Anything else?
No, that was a good MAC preview as well as PAC2. And I know soon we're diving into some of the bigger boys.
Can't wait. We are recording Big 12 tomorrow. They'll kick off our group of 5 or a group of Power 4. P4 Power 4. So that'll release on Friday. I can't wait.
I can't wait myself. We're getting closer and closer. This was fun. And as far as the listeners go, if you made it this far, God bless you. And hope we gave you some insights into the MAC and the PAC2. But much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for checking us out, and we'll be back soon.
All right. Bye. Love you.